Say, everyone, welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me is, alongside me for the final time this regular season, it's my guy, Bobano. Bobano, how are you doing?
Pretty crazy, right? The MLB regular season's pretty much almost over. Playoffs next week. And look, football's already a month in. So it's just amazing constantly how quickly, days fly by, weeks fly by, months fly by, a season flies by. And we're seeing it again in baseball. But man, what a dramatic, exciting finish we've got in some areas, especially the AL wildcard race. The AL West race stands out like a sore thumb. It's going to go right down to the final day. And some interesting spots tonight, actually. I don't mind this card. So that's not something you always see in the final week of the season.
Yeah, I've been getting crushed this last week, and today I think I like a series of bets. I like a team, I guess. The most I've liked the team the last week or so. So I'm going out on my shield, Bobano, today, and it's going to be fun to see how I operate. And yes, I have 3 bets on one squad, so it should be fun. And I have 2 double ups here, and we're going to talk about shortly. Let's talk about this game first. Reds, Guardians, Hunter Green, Lucas Giolito, and a very interesting line move in this game that has prompted me to bet the Cleveland Guardians. Money line minus 119, first 5 minus 120 for me. This opened up. Let's talk about it here. This opened up last night. Let's see, scrolling down. I had this pulled up earlier. Here we go. Minus 103 for the Guardians here. You can see the dramatic shift there to them as well. So went from dog to favorite and just flipped all the way. Market-wise in this, the craziest part, 61% of the bets and 82% of the money on the Reds in this game. And the market has moved dramatically towards the Guardians. So I will take up arms with the Guardians. Lucas Giolito, who maybe he's the Guardians pitching factory has gotten his claws into him and started pitching well because he had a good outing with them recently as with the Guardians. So I'm on the Guardians here. Like I said, first 5 full game. Bobana, what do you think?
I'm Oppo here. I like the Reds and Hunter Green's been absolutely terrific for this team. Now I am concerned, the way the series went for Cincinnati against Pittsburgh, losing 2 or 3 when you need every win desperately at home to the Pirates is not a good sign at all. Now you got to go on the road. It's not like Cincinnati's a shoe in here, but man, Hunter Green's been spectacular. He's given up 1 run in 3 of his last 4 starts. The Reds are 3-1 in his last 4 starts. You're definitely more sold on Giolito than I am. Didn't like his last start. 4 runs, 7 hits, 5.1 innings of work against Kansas City. He did have a good start against Texas, really good in that outing, but really outside of that, he's given up 4 runs or more 4 of his last 5 starts. Reds, obviously, I don't think they're making it, but they're not mathematically eliminated yet. They're 2.5 games out of a wild card spot. They have to. They need this game like a human being needs oxygen to breathe. That's where Cincinnati's at right now. And I just think they got the better starting pitcher on the mound at a plus money price. So Cincinnati for me, plus 108. And by the way, 8 runs in 11 innings for Giolito in his career against the Reds, which isn't good.
Yep, that's true. So let's figure this out. Hopefully the line movements are true. That's going to be a fact for another spot in this card for me. So we'll move on here. It's going to be a fun game to watch. Next game, Nationals Orioles. I do not have an Orioles bet. I mean, they're just too juiced. I don't want to take a minus 1.5, minus 122 there. I just don't want to do that. I expect them to win. Josiah Gray's a good pitcher. So I do kind of expect a lower scoring outing. So under would be a lean here, but I had nothing on this game, Bobano. 75% of the bets, 67% of the money on the Orioles here, totals wise. Sharp money on the under, bigger bets on the under. 31% of the bets, 31% of the bets and 55% of the money on the under there. So more bets total on the over, but bigger bets on the under. Probably lean that way. Bobano, anything on this game?
Yeah, Baltimore, I think, wins. And I like Bradish. Bradish has pitched well. 2 runs or less, 4 of his last 5 starts. A strong start against Houston in his last outing. 2 hits, shutout ball, 9 strikeouts in 6 innings. For Bradish against the Astros. A hard luck loser he was there because they lost 2-1, but he pitched really well. Look, Josiah Gray's pitched a little better. 3 runs allowed in his last 11.1 innings, but you're talking about the Pirates and the White Sox in those 2 games. This will be a little bit more difficult for him against this Orioles team. And I think the Orioles can do enough to win the game. But you're right, it's minus 242 pass for me. Although Bradish over strikeouts, I might look at that. And actually the last game, I think both of those pitchers, actually Green and Giolito, especially Green, can go over their strikeout props as well.
Yeah, and just to be aware, because Kyle Bradish probably game one of the or game one starter for the Orioles. So all those starts are very important for me. I'm the crazy guy that thinks that both 1 seeds are going to go to the World Series this year, Orioles and Braves. But we'll talk about that when we get there. Royals Tigers, an absolute dumpster fire of a game. I don't know how the days line up, but probably Zach Greinke's last start of his career, illustrious career, Hall of Fame career. I'm not going to let this last 2 years kind of sully his legacy. He's pitched great. He was a Hall of Famer. 1-15, probably an accurate depiction of how he's pitched this year. And Reese Olson down the stretch has been okay. I'm just not laying minus 150 with the Tigers, who I'm sure everyone will be picking as a dark horse next year. And I will not be on that bandwagon at all. What do you think about this game, Bobana?
Well, Kansas City 6-0 in their last 6 games, 9-1 in their last 10 games. I almost took Kansas, and I still might. The Royals here plus 140. And if anything, you know what? Zach Greinke, he's been okay the last 2 starts. He hasn't pitched deep. You're going to see a lot of the Royals bullpen, I'm sure. He's just not, pitching many innings these days when he's in there. But, this Royals team is just mashing the baseball. It's just their offense has been really good. Greinke's been marginally better. And like I say, they're feeling it right now. But I do want to point out that a lot of those wins were against Houston, a chance to play spoiler. Do they bring that same, energy, adrenaline here to a series against a bad team like Detroit or a team that's way out of it? I think the Royals got up to play spoiler against the Astros. Can they bring it again here? This may not excite them as much. You know what I mean? Playing Detroit, after playing spoiler against the Astros. That being said, Kansas City are pass for me the way they're playing.
Agreed. Mark Kelly even says it best there. Pass, I'm cool. No thanks here. 89% of the bets, 54% of the money on the over in this game. Money line wise, 36% of the bets and 72% of the money on the Royals, seemingly the sharp side in this one. All right, let's move on. And by the way, Bobana, quickly, Eric Rosas asking a little bit of a Royals team total look, perhaps.
That actually might make some sense because Greinke's still a little dicey. What you're going to expect? He could go out there, pitch well. He could go out there, give up 5 runs. That's sometimes what you get from Zach Greinke, and it typically does pitch better in KC than he does on the road. So I think if you like the Royals, you could go plus money on that price, and that price is good for a team that's won 9 of 10. You can get plus 140, but if you're worried about Greinke, you could always go over 3.5 their team total.
Wouldn't be surprised at all if Zach Greinke had a good start here today. Conjure one more up. Like I said, is probably maybe his last start of his career. So I'd probably lean that way as well. Pirates Phillies here, a little Pennsylvania battle. Mitch Keller versus Aaron Nola. Well, I guess they're gonna make the playoffs, so never mind. I was gonna say last start as the Phillies, but he'll be in the postseason, obviously. It's just another easy pass for me. The Battle of Pennsylvania here is not something I like betting on typically. I think that both these teams are, I should say they're going in opposite directions, but who knows what the Pirates will be next year. And Helen Mitch Keller has been great at several points in this season. And we'll just throw this up for one last time this season. Shout out to our guy, Helen Mitch Keller, looking great on the mound as always. But I just didn't have anything on this game either. I'll read off the percentage totals here in a second, but it's just a tough game with 2 good pitchers. It says here on action, 95% of the bets and 99% of the money on the Phillies. Shocking. Just even at that, give me the Pirates, but I can't get there. And then totals wise, 55% of the bets on the over, but 64% of the money on the under. So very interestingly enough there, Bobano. Anything on this game?
You could look at a K prop maybe on Nola. I could see him going over 6.5 strikeouts in this game against this Pirates lineup. But other than that, look, Pittsburgh's won 4 of their last 5. I'm not comfortable laying this kind of price with Philly, even though they're playing great right now, 8-2 in their last 10 games. They definitely played some outstanding baseball here as of late, gearing up maybe for another October run, maybe. Much like they had last year. We'll have to wait and see if that ends up happening. Nola, meanwhile, 4-1 in the Phillies in his last 5 starts. He's only given up 5 runs in his last 10.2 innings, 8 strikeouts the last outing he had against a very good Atlanta team. That's a really good sign for Nola. Very good performance against one of the better teams in baseball. So, again, I think Phillies win, but I'm not comfortable laying this price, so it's a pass.
Agreed. I'd gunned ahead. I'd be on the Pirates, but it's a tough game. It's a tough game. So nothing new for me there. Let's go to the Toronto Blue Jays, who have found themselves pretty firmly in a playoff spot. Shockingly enough, I'm sure there's a lot of nerves up there the last couple of weeks, but they're I believe 1.5 games up on the Astros, who are 2.5 games up on the Mariners. And I think the Blue Jays fans are probably feeling good. This is again, probably Gausman's last start for the regular season. He'll probably get lined up for game 1. Everyone feeling good about themselves in Toronto. Vladdy's starting to hit a little bit. But now we've got Michael King and Kevin Gausman here on a back-to-back start. Super, super low total. And very apathetic Yankees players, I'm sure. What do you think about this game, Bobano?
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting because these two guys, I think, matched up against one another last week in New York, and now here they are at Rogers Center in Toronto. I would probably stay off the side, stay off the total, because look, I think the Jays are obviously playing well. I don't want to go against them, but laying this kind of price against Michael King right now isn't easy. Michael King's been absolutely stellar since the New York Yankees put him in the starting rotation. Too little, too late, but. They still have seen he's been out there. He's been their best starter outside of Garrett Cole, for these last couple of months. So I would look at just K props for both guys. We know Gossman's very capable. Over 7.5 strikeouts for him. Over, I think it's 6.5. It's actually 5.5 strikeouts for Michael King in this game tonight. I think both of these guys rack up the Ks. It's always a little tricky sometimes when it's the same lineup you're facing twice in the same week. But I think asking both of these guys to hit their K props would be the best way to approach it.
Well, and good thing about that is, as Les Man's saying, Judge sitting out for the Yankees. So you're getting a lineup of DJ Glaber, Austin Wells hitting third, which is hilarious. Mike Stanton, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Cabrera, Peraza. It's just all the meh in there as well. And, obviously a full lineup for the Blue Jays. So very interesting. Very interesting. I lean Blue Jays, and that total is shocking. So total market-wise, real quick before we move on, only 55% of the bets, 56% of the bets and 55% of the money on the Blue Jays here. So very interesting enough there. And total, 59% of the bets and 76% of the money on the over here. Wow. It's just stayed at 7. So shocking. I'd probably lean under. And it's a super, super low total. And that's just uncomfortable. So nothing here for me there. Let's go to our next game, Miami Marlins versus the New York Metropolitans here. And I saw the Marlins getting some love today. And some people backing the Finns here. And they're obviously backs against the wall mode fully here, fighting for your playoff lives. The Mets don't care. Lucchese's pitched pretty well, but the Marlins have hit lefties really all season, and the Mets have not hit lefties all season. Bobano. Market in this game before I pass it to you, 81% of the bets and 87% of the money on the Marlins here. But let me double check on this. Yeah, I have this Bobano opening up at -130 for the Marlins, and it's dropped to -120. So that just seems like a big red flashing light for me, Bobano. What do you think?
Yeah, this one I'm passing on. I lean Marlins, but for some reason the Marlins have just, I don't know, they're up and down like crazy here. I mean, and they lost 2 or 3 to the Mets at home last week. So I'm not really fully trusting them. And by the way, Lucchesi didn't pitch that bad in the matchup with Garrett last week, and it's the same two matching up against one another. I don't want the Mets. I know that. I don't want the Mets, but I'm not rushing to lay a price on the road with the Marlins here. Pass for me.
Yeah, I think I'd be on the Mets here, and semi-close to adding it, but probably won't, as I've been so cold, but I'm trying to keep my volume a little bit down. So nothing here for me. And let's get to the game where I am dying on my shield. The Boston Red Sox versus the Tampa Bay Rays. And the Red Sox have gone into the full punt. We'll see you next year. We're shutting down even our good rookies that have been playing for us. We're shutting them down for the year. Tanner Houck, he came back from getting hit in the face. He's pitched fine. But the Red Sox have just been poor. And they're a very, very brutally average baseball team. And I'm glad they're going to hit their win total here with 3 more wins, hopefully. We'll see if they get there. But I believe in them here, Bobano. I believe in them here today solely on the face of A, they play better at home. They just really do. Fenway Park is just a good place for them to hit. And B, the market in this game is outrageous. This opened up at minus 120-ish, minus 123 for the Tampa Bay Rays. And as you see on the screen now, down to minus 111. And now I'm sure what you're thinking is, oh, that means that they're just betting the Red Sox heavy out there, blah, 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 blah. 81% of the bets and 88% of the money on the Tampa Bay Rays here. They're just telling you to bet the Rays, and you know what? If we lose these bets, we lose them. But I'm going out with the girl that got me to the dance. I'm going with the Red Sox here. I've tripled up on the Red Sox. First 5 money line plus 105, money line plus 101, and minus 1 at minus 146. The Rays fold today, damn it, and the Red Sox find their day. I'm going down with the ship, Bobano. What do you think about this?
That's gutsy. That's gutsy taking Boston right now. It is. But you know what, to be honest with you, it's kind of gutsy laying a price with Tampa right now on the road. It's not like the Rays are a healthy team. It's not like the Rays are playing outstanding right now. They didn't have a good weekend series against Toronto. In fact, they're very lucky they won the game they did win, coming back, and they blew a big lead and they rallied in the 9th inning. They just haven't played great. Like I said, they've been banged up a little bit. That's concerning. And then when you look at these standings now, I don't want to say they're going to completely punt on the AL East, but they're not winning that division. They're 2.5 back of Baltimore now. There's only 6 games left in the regular season. I just don't see the Rays catching the Orioles now. And I think they know it, especially after losing 2 out of 3 against the Blue Jays over the weekend. So I'm off this game. I could only look Tampa. I don't want Boston. I applaud your guts to take Boston, but I'm not rushing to take Tampa right now. And Eflin has always been worse on the road than he's been in Tampa at the Trop. That being said, I do think he can get over a strikeout prop. If I were to bet anything, it would be Eflin over 4.5 strikeouts.
Yeah, this is going to be a hell of a sweat. I'll tell you that. Nothing's been going right for me this last week and a half-ish, and I would really like to hit these bets so we can start clawing and make this record at least semi-respectable here at the end. Let's move on. Chicago, Atlanta, a great battle. In a different world, this could be a playoff matchup. Who knows? But I don't know, Bobano. I understand that the Cubs need every game they can get. They're battling for their lives, and the Braves have locked up everything. I guess they haven't locked up like number 1 overall seed, but everyone knows what they are. I guess gun to head again. I'm picking the Cubs here, but the Braves against lefties have just been juggernautish. That's just what they do. So it's a pass for me, Bobano. What do you think?
That does concern me, definitely, what the Braves are capable of doing against left-handed pitching. It's probably also why I'm going to look a small bet over 9 here, minus 120. But I am on the Cubs. I'm going to take a chance. I just think this game means a whole lot more to Chicago, and I think they actually have the better pitcher with Justin Steele. I'm not a Bryce Elder fan, and I think he was great early. Then he had that bad August. He kind of got back on the beam again. for a little bit and back on track. And now the last 2 starts have been pretty bad. 4 runs, 9 hits allowed to Miami, 4 runs, 3 hits to Philadelphia in his last 2 starts. The Braves lost at each of Elder's last 2 starts. So I think it's a live underdog here. This is just one of those games for Atlanta. They're playing out the string. For Chicago, they're trying to nail down a playoff spot. Massive gap in motivation. That's enough with I think the better pitcher. It's enough for me to take Chicago at plus 120.
Yeah, and this is the most bet on game today, according to Action as well. 32,000 tickets in on this game, 33,000 actually. 50-50 ticket splits, but the bigger bets are on the Cubs. 84% of the money on the Cubs here as well. So shout out to you, Bobano. I lean that way. I'm not going to make the bet. Let's move on to our next game. And boy, oh boy. Well, actually, no, it's the next game that I'm excited about. This game's a shit game. White Sox, Diamondbacks. There's actually rain in the forecast, so this might not go off. I've got nothing in this bum-ass game. But, Ben, do you have anything?
Yeah, Arizona or pass, but I'm not laying a $1.52 with Zach Davies on the road. Hell no, we can move on.
Beautiful. Oakland, Minnesota, the game that I'm excited about. Maybe these dumb rules that I've made up have gotten me down in this hole, but I'm going to bet it. Paul Blackburn, king of the first 5 innings. This is what we do here. First 5 money line, first 5 plus a half here. Actually, for some reason, I don't have this up, so it's very interesting. I don't have the price up, so I'll look at it right now. Look for it right now. But Bano, I'm sure you're on the same wavelength with our guy Paul Blackburn, right?
Well, I'm certainly not laying 245 with Minnesota here. That's just absolutely not happening. And a Minnesota Twins team that, as we know, clinched the AL Central over the weekend. And I took the Angels against them right after that, and they won that game. The Angels did 1-0. And if you look at so Minnesota had their little hangover after clinching the AL Central. They did bounce back. They beat up the Angels 9-3 after that. But it's not like Minnesota's got pedal to the metal here in the last 6 games. They've wrapped up the division. It's just get these games over with, go to the playoffs. Do I trust Oakland's offense enough right now? I'm not so sure. They haven't been great offensively for a while. But you mentioned it. Blackburn has had some decent performances. He's pitching at home where you would think he's a little more comfortable. So could do worse than taking a shot with Oakland here. I personally did not.
Yeah, I'm on it, and I've got the first 5 plus a half. Rocco got a plus 130. I don't have a plus 130. I've got plus 110 there. And first 5 money line, plus 165. Yeah, Don play. The Twins really don't have anything to play for. They're kind of stuck in that spot. They won their division already. They could lose out. They'll be chilling. I like the A's here, and it'll be interesting. I don't have the balls to go full game money line, but first 5, hopefully they can scratch across some runs here as well. And by the way, I think the A's also clinched the worst record. So it's not like the players care about that, but even then the management's not helping them tank or whatever. So A's doubled up there for me. Very exciting. So those are all my bets there, but let's go over the rest of the card here. St. Louis Cardinals, Milwaukee Brewers. Just easy pass here again. I've seen this matchup just so many times this year, and I feel like I never learn anything from these matchups here, Bobano. And by the way, market in that last game, 28% of the bets and 69% of the money on the A's there. And this Brewers-Cardinals game, everyone on the Brewers, I think they're still 1 game away from clinching the division, I think. I need to double check that, but I just can't get there. No chance I'm not going to bet the Cardinals here. I've been on them a couple times this week as well. So nothing here for me. Brewers hopefully win today and clinch the division, I believe. What do you think?
I think it's possible. I played a little over 8.5 though in this one. I felt the total when that is less than 9 still right now, 8.5 pretty much. I just think Zach Thompson got roughed up by the Brewers just recently when he faced them. Adrian Hauser's been better, but I still watch Adrian Hauser and think, how is this guy getting outs consistent? I'm just not enamored with his stuff, even though he's actually pitched better lately. And Cardinals are going to get a second look at him in less than a week. I know the Cardinal lineup hasn't exactly been ripping lately, and that's putting it mildly. They've scored 2 runs or less in 4 of their last 5 games. But, second look against Hauser, I think they could scratch enough runs across the board. Milwaukee does the rest. Over 8.5 for me, minus 110.
I would agree with that lean as well, Bobano. I think, Bobano, in the last couple of days, I've decided that I've barred myself from betting on the AL West.
We have a pitching change. It looks like, Michaelis now on the mound for St. Louis. I still like the over. I'm not a big Michaelis fan either, especially on the road.
Disgusting. Miles Michaelis on the bump. Now it's better than Zach Thompson, but gross. So I still had nothing in that game. But thank you guys for letting us know about the pitching change as well. But yeah, I banned myself from betting on the AL West. I've hemorrhaged units all week, seemingly betting on the Mariners and fading the Rangers. It's been disgusting. I cashed first 5 Angels yesterday, great, but I still lost full game and got crushed with the Mariners. So it didn't really matter. But yet again, if I had to be a bet, it'd be against Angels here. Cody Bradford's, fine. Don't believe in the bullpen. Rangers feeling great about themselves, but they still need to win every game they can get because the Astros are breathing down their necks still. And they've got the division in touching distance now. So just taking stacking L's on the Rangers this week. So I'm gonna stay off this game. Bobana, what do you think?
I'm on the over 8.5 here, minus 120, I believe is what I got with this one. Texas and the LA Angels over 8.5, minus 120. I'd certainly think Texas, certainly their lineup's been excellent lately. It's got them in the driver's seat as far as the AL West is concerned. I think they can really mash Detmers. They've hit lefties well all year. I'm not a big Bradford fan. Bradford's been a little bit better lately, and look, the Angels aren't exactly hitting right now, and that's putting it mildly. But I'm just hoping the Angels can give me 2 or 3, because if they give me at least 3 runs, I think the game's going over the total, because I can see Texas getting to 6 here in this game tonight. So over 8.5 for me here.
Agreed there. If I had to bet this game, I'd probably be betting the over, because betting the Angels is not the proposition to make.
Both bullpens can give you runs late in the game too.
Agreed, 100%. That's why you go full game over first 5, especially there. Padres, Giants. The Padres are 1 game away from losing or elimination, I believe. Excuse me. They're just done. I don't want to bet on this Padres team. I understand that they're hot, blah blah blah, but just an easy pass here for me. Kyle Harrison, we all know, is a good lefty here, and he's cutting his teeth in the majors, so he's got all the motivation in the world to pitch well.
Yeah, definitely does. I think Lugo actually over strikeouts might be a decent look here if you're into K props. Other than that, not really anything here for me. Maybe I think Padres might be a little undervalued here, but the laying price with this team on the road with the season they've had, no thank you.
Agreed. Sharp money is on the Padres. 42% of the bets, 81% of the money on the Padres, but not a team I'm interested in betting. And by the way, same thing for the Angels. Bigger bets on the Angels. 24% of the bets, 54% of the money on the Angels there, but not something I'm interested in laying. Last game on our slate here, Bobano. Houston versus Seattle. Again, I'm banning myself from betting on the AL West. I've just got no feel for it. It's hilarious that the Seattle Mariners and myself, I bet on the Mariners to win the World Series a couple of weeks ago, and since that moment, it's just been a downturn. They just absolutely shit the bed, and are now, I think 1 game away from basically being eliminated. This is it. You lose this game, it's basically over for the Mariners. They'll be 3.5 games back. You're not making that up in the rest of the week. Your destiny's in your hand, blah, 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 with the Rangers and Astros. But if you win today and you win tomorrow, then you're up on the Astros with the Rangers in front of your face to play for the division. But this is it. It all starts right here if the Mariners want to do all that. And I've been burned backing the Mariners a lot. So I'm passing here. And Christian Javier has been vulnerable all year. But this is it. Do you guys trust the Mariners' bats to come through? Is because I've watched too many times now where Julio Rodriguez will come up, bases loaded, big spot, grounded to double play, inning ender. Cal Raleigh comes up, big spot, strikeout. It's just the same shit every time. And, people will point to they have $100 million less in payroll than the Astros and the Rangers. But damn, you're right there. Your team is just as talented as these guys. So I hope they win this game. I'll be rooting for them to win this game. If I had to make a bet in this game, I would be betting the Mariners. 35% of the bets and only 35% of the money on the Mariners in this game. So you can see people are interested in the Astros. But just that, I just hope that desperation sinks in here because, again, if they don't win this game, I expect the manager to get fired. I expect there to be a bit of a shakeup. And you guys, if you've watched the show this whole year, you guys have heard me say that this is my dream Ohtani team besides the Red Sox. I would love if Shohei Ohtani and the Mariners met up somehow and he gave them the offensive thump that they need. But that's just off-season talk when they can get into this. So, Bobano, I'm passing. What do you have on this game?
This is like a playoff game in the regular season. It's simple as that. I mean, that's what
100%.
this has that feel. That's the reason why TBS, I think, added this to their schedule tonight for national TV purposes. Look, I'm on Houston here. It's like, show me if you're Seattle that you can win one of these big games here because you've been leaking oil here down the stretch, playing some awful baseball at the worst time. That was a disgraceful series against Texas, quite honestly. They get swept and outscored 19-13 in that series, blasted 5-1 in the series opener against the Astros. And look, I like overall George Kirby. I don't like George Kirby right now. I mean, he's given up hard hit contact. He's had problems keeping the ball in the ballpark. Home runs have been an issue. He's now given up a home run in 6 straight starts. Now you're playing a lineup that can leave the yard like the Houston Astros. That's not what you want to see necessarily here from George Kirby. Now, he did pitch well against them when he faced them in July, but it's been a struggle for this guy. He has given up now 16 runs, or 19 runs, I should say, in his last 4 starts, spanning 22 innings. It's not what you want to see right now from George Kirby. Javier, he actually is starting to pitch a little bit better. Last 2 starts have been good. Great start against a very good Baltimore team. 1 run, 11 strikeouts in 5 innings. Pitched very well in that game. So, yeah, for me, it's just I actually think wrong team favored given the form right now. Houston here, plus 112. I like it. I'm also going to take a small shot over the total here, 7.5 at minus 120 because I feel that Kirby could get hit. And while Javier pitched a lot better against Baltimore, is he going to go through this game, even against Seattle's struggling lineup, shutting them down completely? I'm not so sure. And both bullpens have been a little vulnerable of late. So I also went with the 7.5 over the total here as well.
I like that look, Bobano. I've been interested in the Astros here, but like you stated, I mean, it's a playoff game. The Mariners need this really badly. And here's the thing, market aside, just purely baseball analysts here for me. We know George Kirby is one of the more accurate pinpoint fill the zone pitchers that we have in baseball. But the Astros are one of the best in-zone contact teams in baseball. Now, I was during your breakdown, I was frantically searching what stat that I needed here, and it was zone contact percentage. So that's just the percent of the time that the percent of balls they make contact with in the zone, essentially. And the Houston Astros are 4th best in the league at zone contact rate. 88% leads the league, and that's the Washington Nationals, fun fact. So funny there. But Houston, 4th at 86% there. By the way, the Angels at 82% at last. So I think they're going to fill it up. He's going to try to fill it up, and I'm worried that it gets crushed. So if I had to make a bet in this game after all the losses I've taken, I guess it's Astros, but I'm rooting for the Mariners. So nothing here from me. I'm excited to watch today's slate of baseball because it is, like I said, a sort of last stand for me. I'm bloodied, I'm beaten down, and I've got my 2 swords in my hands ready to fight off baseball one more fucking time here tonight. And we're going to do it here together, Bobano. I appreciate you for joining me today and every Tuesday this year. Appreciate your consistency as always, even though you're a very busy man, as we know. Bobano, I'll let you start this off. For the final time in the regular season, what's your card today?
Yeah, final time. We'll do the actually we'll do strikeout props first because I'm getting back into the mix with those the last few days because look, strikeouts are going up again. Playoff feel, playoff type baseball. Pitching starts to dominate a little bit more. So Steele over 4.5 strikeouts for the Cubs -145. Michael King over 5.5 strikeouts -130 for the Yankees. Kevin Gausman for Toronto over 7.5 strikeouts -125. Zach Eflin for Tampa Bay over 4.5 strikeouts -150. Christian Javier for Houston over 5.5 strikeouts -105. Hunter Green, Cincinnati over 5.5 strikeouts -130. And Kyle Bradish over 5.5 strikeouts for Baltimore +105. And then for sides and totals, Chicago Cubs +125. St. Louis, Milwaukee over 8.5 -110. Not San Diego, Texas, LA Angels over 8.5 -120. Houston +120 is what I got, +112 now. Still like it. Houston, Seattle over 7.5 -120. Cincinnati +108.
Beautiful work, Bobano. My card here today. I've got the Boston triple up, first 5 +105, full game money line +101 and -1 +146. Cleveland money line -119 and first 5 -120. And the Oakland A's double up there, first 5 +0.5 +110 and first 5 money line +165 there. Bobano, appreciate you, my man. Thank you for joining me throughout the baseball season. We'll probably see you in the playoff coverage for baseball as well. Where can the people find you, and could you enlighten people, for those who don't know, what are you doing this football season, and where can people find you during then?
Yeah, on Twitter at Bobano. We've got a couple shows coming up. We'll be leading off the Thursday Night Football live stream for Lions Packers with Mike M on Thursday, back on Betting with the Bag Friday. And of course, hitting the books every single Monday right here, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific with Connor Mack with college football. So that's what we got going on. Check it out.
Beautiful work, Bobano. And someone asked earlier if you were dipping your toe into preseason NHL. You
No,
fancy
actually, I
preseason?
don't rarely bet. I rarely bet, if at all, any preseason. I'm gearing up for the regular season at this point, and getting the report that I send out every year right before the season point totals, futures, award props, season long player props, putting all that together and getting that ready for next week. And there's always some really good opportunities. And the great thing about the NHL is the betting markets have never been wider ranging as far as options and specialty bets and prop bets. And it's just it's good for the bettor because there's certainly a lot of good opportunities. And yeah, looking forward to the NHL season. The Ice Guys show will be back in a couple weeks. Countdown is on, just 2 weeks away.
How ridiculous are Connor Bedard's Rookie of the Year numbers?
Yeah, well, there's 33 goals and 65 points. That's where they've got the props set for him. And I wouldn't be betting it under, quite honestly. Although I like the points prop more than the goals prop. I think he could definitely go over 65 points. The goals, I think, could be close to the number, but I still wouldn't bet it under with that kid. Not if you're watching what he's doing as well in the rookie tournament and in preseason or training camp so far. Again, he's got to do it against NHL players, bigger, stronger players, obviously, than you see in junior, but that guy's got an unbelievable shot, and I'm not sure even NHL goalies are ready for it.
Is his Rookie of the Year or whatever it's called in the NHL, is it like -500?
The Calder Trophy. Yeah, that's what they call it for the Rookie of the Year. Yeah, Bedard, obviously, when you look at the betting markets for the Calder Trophy, yeah, he's the one that's everyone's going to be looking to beat. That being said, there's some other good options there as far as the Calder Trophy is concerned. Bedard's -140. Don't sleep on Fantilli. He's -140. Yeah, laying a price with Connor Bedard to win the Calder. Fantilli at 14-1. Logan Cooley at 12-1. Even don't these guys could be really good. Devin Levi for the Sabres, who's going to become their number one goalie, 12-1. I think Matthew Nyes could be a good look for Toronto at 20-1 as well. There's some shots down the board that aren't. It's not crazy to suggest you could look at some options down the board with some significant value. Look, it's Bedard, as long as he doesn't get injured and as long as he plays the way I think he is capable of and the way I think he will, he's going to win it probably. But I'm not laying minus 140 in this kind of market. I would look at a Cooley. I'd look at, Nyes. I'd look at Fantilli. I'd look at someone else before I lay minus 140 in a awards prop.
All right. Well, beautiful work there, Bobano. Again, thank you so much for joining me every day, or every Tuesday, I should say, this season. We appreciate you. I'm sure we'll have you back on during the postseason as well. Thanks, everyone, for watching the program. I've got a speech to go prepare now, which should be very interesting. Cannot wait for that. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Lucas Ryan, Don Play, Real Deal Prime, Nathan Cerna, Joe Yurkovich, Rocco, Justin McElvey, Talk Sports with JP, George JT, Norman Ross, Coin was in here, Markel, all you guys, we appreciate it. Viper MB, a lot of sports coming here very quickly, and it's going to be a whole lot of coverage here on Pub Sports Radio. So stick around here, subscribe, hit the bell, and follow us on Twitter at Jose Bouquett, at Bobano. Say hey, we'll see you guys next time.